I think it's fair to say that the Owl House is the isekai series that I've been waiting for. At least when it comes to season 1, I haven't seen season 2 yet. And nothing against the dumb fun isekais, those have their audiences. There are people out there that enjoy their overpowered fantasy harem main character because it's fun to see yourself as them, or it's just fun to see those familiar tropes. But for me, this is the kind of isekai I want to see. I feel like the Owl House captures the feeling of being transported to a mystical land and wanting to be a part of that world. And a lot of that is because of Luz and how she sees the world around her, as well as how the world sees and treats her as a human. After watching the first season, I felt like I had to give my thoughts, just my initial thoughts of the series, because of all of the things that happened, there was just so much to talk about. So I am going to be discussing the first season of the Owl House, talking about its characters, what I thought about the world, the magic, the animation, all of that stuff, and also answering some questions that I got at the end of this video. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys end up enjoying this video, then you can like the video, comment, subscribe. All those things really help me out. And subscribe and let you guys know when I upload next. So let's not waste any more time and actually get into this review.
Now that I'll be a student at Hexside, I want to learn all about it. I've got a new crush, and her name is Education.
So if we're gonna start, I feel like we should start with the main character. Luz is a combination of an audience self-insert and Steven Universe from... well, what I mean by that is she's a super relatable character. I mean, she's a magic geek, she's ostracized because she's weird, she makes AMVs. I've never seen a main character who makes AMVs. All of these things are there to connect with this show's fan base, and it worked. You do have to be careful though, because a character that's only focused on being relatable usually ends up being boring, very plain. The writers can't really do anything interesting with them because that might take them out of that relatability. Luckily, Owl House does have Luz stand out and make her her own person. For one thing, when I say she's weird, they make her really weird. I will say, maybe they did it a little bit too much in the first episode, like when she was being called into the principal's office and they were listing off all the things that she did, and they cut to the baby griffin spider breath. I mean, if those spiders made their way to me, I'd be pretty upset too, not gonna lie. Luckily, she didn't go that far during the rest of the series, and she was still able to keep that energetic, wild side to her, and that helped her to keep up with the rest of her supporting cast, because usually the main characters in this aren't as good as the people around her. Like, what I mean by that is like not as interesting, but I think because of this weird, wild personality, she's able to be just as fun and funny as the rest of them. On top of that, she isn't a passive character. I mean, many times she's the one that's initiating things and getting things done. Episode 2 when she went on that fake quest. Episode 16 when she chose to replace Amity as Grom Queen. Episode 18 when she tried to steal the healing hat from the Emperor. And those are just some examples. She's on the move, she's proactive, and I love that. It keeps her looking alive and interesting. The reason why I say that she's Steven Universe is because she's super kind. She understands how it feels to be left out, so she likes to include people. On top of that, she's not someone who is quick to see the bad in people. She wants to make friends, except for Basha, but you know, screw her.
I just thought all trash should stay in one spot. That's it!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
But just because she is like this doesn't mean that she's perfect. On top of making mistakes, she can also not see the whole picture right away, whether it be with Amity when she's continuously making her life harder, or King during that carnival episode, or she'll fall into peer pressure, like when these three accidentally animated the Owl House. Okay, that sounded a little intense. Peer pressure? I mean, they're not doing drugs, they're just bringing her house back to life. Anyways, her character isn't perfect, which helps me root for her. I want to see her grow up, and that's probably the most important part of a coming of age story. Also, Angry Luz. Angry Luz is very fun Luz. I do hope in season 2 we get to see sides like that a lot more from her. Anger, sadness. We've seen a little of that this season, but knowing that the next season is going to be darker and more plot heavy, I hope that this isn't the last time that we see Luz in a negative mood. But I think the thing that I'm most anticipating is her reuniting with her mom. Grom really highlighted these feelings of betraying her mother and facing her again. And I feel like there definitely is going to be some healing needed on both sides when they reunite. I think they did a good job making me anticipate that episode. But what's a show without a supporting cast? And oh boy, do we have a colorful group of characters. I don't think there are any supporting characters that I look at that make me roll my eyes. I also don't think there are any characters that don't get enough screen time. Of course, it's still the first season, so there's plenty of things for everyone, but I never felt like any of the characters were dragging an episode down.
What is this place?
This is the Boiling Isles. Every myth you humans have is caused by a little of our world leaking into yours.
Ida, the teacher slash Luce's new cool auntie, is absolutely hilarious. We'll talk more about the humor later on, but man, is Ida just so much fun on screen.
I shall now teach you how to identify different types of snow by taste. Well, go on, eat the snow.
She reminds me of Genshin Impact characters. In that game, many of the characters encapsulate their magical element. With Ida, she uses a magical practice known as wild magic, and it feels like she's the physical representation of that kind of magic. She is out there, full of energy, no shit's given kind of person, and that makes her a really interesting mentor. I enjoy mentor-mentee relationships that have the teacher learning just as much from the student as the student is from the master. I really feel like that's a good way to build that connection. Probably why when episode 18 came, people were crying their eyes out when Ida got taken. I was more on the eat her freaking ass passionate side, but that emotion was still there. Of course there needs to be a balance. While she is wild, she's also responsible. Most of the time. Kinda. Enough. She's responsible enough. She knows when things get serious to do what's right to keep Luz safe, which is good. I never went, why is she doing this? Or why is she being so dumb? She's grown enough to know better. Like I said, she has enough maturity. If I had one complaint, I wish they made it more clear why she couldn't train Luz. Like, I know Luz has different magic, but I wish that was more clear by Ida. Because for the longest time I was thinking, why doesn't Ida teach Luz magic? Maybe just show how weirded out she is of Luz's magic, or show Ida trying to research a way to help Luz behind her back, but not finding anything. Just anything so it doesn't look like she's just not gonna do it. I do like how she bucked up and admitted that what Luz needed was Hexside, the place that she herself absolutely hates.
Yes, I can feel my powers returning! You there, nightmare critter! I shall call you Francois, and you shall be a minion in my army of darkness!
Moving on to the more cute side, King is so amazing. He's voiced by Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls and the voice of Bill Cipher, and he does a fantastic job. Everybody does. Sarah Nicole Robles and Wendy Malick are absolutely amazing. It's like this whole cast gets comedic timing. It's great. But yeah, I focus on Alex because while he does sound a lot like Bill Cipher, because the writing for King is so good and I've spent so much time with him, by the end of the first season, honestly by episode 8, that voice does not make me think of Bill Cipher anymore. All I hear is King, and I just think that's amazing. King is like the cute pet slash baby of the series. The series flips on whether to see him as a pet or a baby, but despite all that, I'm still able to respect him, if that makes sense. Like, he does dumb things, and he's the butt of a bunch of jokes, but at the end of the day, if he has an emotional scene like he did when Ida was taken, I'll feel that. I have my suspicions that he might actually be some kind of fallen king or something. All I'm saying is, I hope nothing bad happens to King, and I hope he doesn't change and turn into some evil monster, because if he does, I'm gonna be really sad. But yeah, King is a great source of laughs and cute moments. I love his relationship with everyone, and I was really happy when King got to meet Willow and Gus, and I can't wait to see more of him in the future.
Did it lose? Sorry, I was covering all my bases.
Speaking of Willow and Gus, they are Luz's best friends, and they are so much fun. Thank God they aren't generic. There was a fear I had, especially for Gus, that they'd be one note. Willow the nerdy scared girl, Gus the black kid. But no, these guys are interesting and fun. Gus is a little freak and I love it. He's mischievous, weird. I guess I do wish he had more emotional moments like Willow and Luz have, but I was really caught off guard when they started showing a more wild side to him. I love how he uses his magic. I think the illusionary track is perfect for him. He's helpful throughout the series, and I definitely think he's my favorite character at this point. Willow, to be fair, is definitely very close to what I expected because she does spend a lot of the time being nervous and nerdy, but one, her magic is visually amazing. I really think the animation team for this show really like animating nature magic because most of the time it looks really good, and Willow's is no exception. I feel like she knows that she's a powerhouse. When Willow's not the main focus, she's a lot more adventurous and helpful. I could see it as her willing to help her friends before herself, maybe something she can work on in the future, because when the episode does focus on her, that's when she's more timid and we see her work through that, which is fine.
I'm a blight. We only associate with a select few. Keep annoying me though. I'm happy to select fewer.
So we talked about mentors, we talked about friends, now it's time to talk about rivals / love interest? Thank God they didn't drag out Amity's change to the good side. Like, if this was a different show, you know they would have dragged out Amity's storyline for ages. But in here, by the end of season 1, she could definitely be seen as a good friend for the heroes and a healthy romantic interest for the main character. Yeah, I know that's what you guys want me to talk about. The crush Amity has on Luz is so cute. I like the position we're in right now. It's not just bam, they're both in love with each other. Right now, it definitely feels like Amity has a stronger crush than Luz does, and I just love her freaking out and getting flustered. It matches her age, and it keeps the romance from jumping the shark. I am biased, to be fair. I like this part of romance stories, the more nervous, blushing, still trying to admit how they feel phase. These two also really work for each other, which is of course important. Amity willing to be there when Luz gets in trouble, and Luz showing Amity kindness, something her bubble of judging and snotty fancy people was devoid of. But Amity's story is more than just romance. Like I said, her redemption storyline's pacing was really impressive, and even though it was fast, it was still done very well. I never felt like it was rushed, seeing her realize she's in the wrong, to her trying to make amends with Luz, and then later on Willow, to her dropping her horrible friends. It all went so smoothly. By the end, it's no surprise I'm rooting for her. And I like how they explained her parents' toxicity, while still leaving that mystery. I can't wait to meet Mr. and Mrs. Blight and see how they treat not only Amity, but their other kids too. Side note, Edric and Emra are amazing and so supportive. At first I wasn't sure about them, but seeing them help out Willow on the knee and be just overall fun to be around definitely put them in a good light for me. So yeah, and if there's one thing that I'm excited for Amity in the next season, it probably would be seeing her confront the Emperor's Covenant, the Emperor's Guild, especially since we know how it's like on the inside. The second thing would probably be her facing her parents, how that would look, and see if her siblings will be there right behind her. But we are not done with the rivals because we still have Lilith.
Why, if it isn't Ida's human pet, how perfect.
Lilith is such an interesting character, and she has a very interesting relationship with her sister. It's clear that they both love each other. I think even after everything, that's still clear, and I really do like that. Despite everything, they're still sisters with a healthy past, despite the, cursing. So no matter how many times Lilith tries to arrest Ida, or Ida messes with Lilith, they are still there for each other.
And why were you so easy to curse?
Which made Lilith's betrayal hurt even more, because I trusted that she would never go that far. So when it was revealed that she did, hell, even I felt betrayed. I definitely feel like Ida forgave her too quickly. I would have liked to see them talk about the curse and everything a bit more and go into why Lilith felt so threatened and whether or not that stems from something deeper. Maybe they still can. I know one character who's coming to season 2, and if they are going to have that kind of conversation, I wonder whether or not that character is going to be involved in that discussion. Lilith was a very interesting character in season 1, and I hope that continues in season 2, even though she's not a part of the Emperor's Coven anymore. Now that her and Ida's magic's been cut, Ida's more than Lilith, I'm interested to see how they adjust, considering they were the best witches on the Isle.
Guess what's been in my mouth that I'm about to throw up? The mail!
I actually forgot to write something for Hootie, so I'm just gonna quickly say this. Hootie's a little weirdo, he's a big freak. And despite that, I think I still love him for that, even though if he gets a little bit out of hand. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like I'm getting really disturbed by him, but I heard that's not even going to be the worst part, so that's gonna be fun. I can't wait to see him back for the next season. Hope Hootie stays alive, stays okay. Even if he is weird, I definitely don't think I want to lose him. So yeah, what a guy. I don't know if anybody's watched Parks and Rec, but he's definitely the Jerry of that show. Even though I feel like Hootie deserves it a lot more. Alright, let's get back into the actual review. All of the side characters in this show are amazing and unique, even the ones I didn't mention. The world of the Owl House, also known as the Boiling Isles, is such a unique looking place. Like usually in isekais, characters usually get transported to other worlds, but they basically look like medieval Earth. The Boiling Isles is nothing like Earth. It's like the creator just sat in a room and just reached into the deepest, darkest parts of their minds to come up with the most completely out of the box designs. It's clear that they did not hold back and they just wanted to have fun with this, because oh my god, many times I was visibly disgusted / disturbed / dead inside just looking at these things, and I love that. There's also a lot of mystery behind these isles. Everything with the Titan is a well-woven mystery. How is this Titan connected to the magic? Does the Titan have a mind of its own? If so, why is it guiding Luz during her magic training? Is the Titan and the Bat Queen connected somehow? Does the Titan actually contact the Emperor, or is it all lies made by the Emperor to keep power? What really happened all those years ago with the Wild Witches? How did the Emperor really change the way magic is used? The Emperor is a whole mystery by himself, which makes sense because for the most of the season he's been in the shadows. I don't really have much to say with him because he did come in late. I wouldn't call him the main villain of the season. I wouldn't even say the season has a main villain unless you want to count Lilith, but I think they did a good job setting him up for season 2. He looks strong, commanding, mysterious, so for sure I'm interested to see Luz's, Lilith's, Ida's face off with him in the future. This season was definitely used to set up all this mystery, and I think it was done well. Sprinkling little questions in the back of these episodes is perfect. They give us clear crumbs that leave us satisfied, but also has us asking for more. I don't feel like I'm being dragged around. I can still enjoy the episode in front of me without these questions needing to be answered. And all I have to do now is hope they stick the landing, which I have no doubt that they will. I can definitely understand why people would be turned off by more episodic episodes. I feel like a lot of shows nowadays try and be both story driven and episodic, which does a huge disservice to the episodic episodes since a lot of people dismiss them more. But like I said, each episode is able to keep me satisfied and entertained, so I'm fine. Some things that help me enjoy each individual episode is the comedy for sure. Oh my god, is this show so funny.
Want to say our greatest fears? On 3. 1, 2, being alone forever.
Being stuck with you forever.
They've got that kind of humor that takes advantage of the weird world Luz is in. That plus that, not random humor, but here and there characters would say something, whether it be in response of something weird or they're the ones being weird, and it feels like the show sits on it for a second to add that sort of awkwardness. And for me it works. You guys have seen me laughing in every episode. The comedic timing of the actors are also so well done. The voice actors and actresses need to be given a lot more praise because they handle their lines expertly. Another thing is the animation. I'm not sure, but like halfway through, it felt like the animation got like a huge upgrade, and I really like it. Also, the action scenes are so impressive. Everyone who worked on this show did a great job, but I found out that Spencer Wan, an animator who worked on Boruto, Castlevania, and a bunch of other crazy things, worked on the big fight scenes in this show, as well as this part of the opening. And, you know, impressive is an understatement. I just love how fluid and expressive everyone's movements are. From little scenes like Luz unlocking light magic to Ida and Lilith zipping around engulfed in their magic. Also, the magic is very good. I like the owl themed spells for Ida and just how grand some of them are. I already talked about how good the nature magic always looks, but my favorite probably has to be Lilith's blue flames. The color just looks so vibrant, and I like how she uses it to teleport or move fast. The dance scene has to be my favorite action scene though. It's short, yes, but the way they don't miss a beat or waste a single of the girls' movements, its mixture of magic and romance is just done so well here, ending with a magnificent floral boom. So before I end this, I just want to answer some of the questions that you guys have left me in the comment section down below. Thank you again for anybody who sent their questions in. I don't want to waste any more time, so let's just get started. So the first one is from What Has Been Seen. What are things that you want covered in season 2, and are there any things you wish were done in season 1? So in season 2, I talked a little bit about this during the review, but like just a few of the things, like it would be cool to get that confrontation between Luz and her mom, just going over how both of them feel about this whole thing. I have no doubt that when Luz finally sees her mom, it'll be pretty clear that she hasn't been in camp, but instead has been in a completely different world. So when that happens, I'm interested to see how these guys will react to it. I'll be honest, I have seen some weird takes online lately about Luz's mom, and a lot of them have been negative, so I'm really curious to see what she did to get all of that bad press, you know? So I'm really interested to see where their relationship is going to go in the next season. I'm excited to see just like her reaction to Luce not being where she thought she was going to be. And maybe Luce will, you know, maybe rebel against her mom a little bit more because she realized that being her, you know, being herself is okay. So this whole like conversion sort of weird camp that her mom wants to bring her to is not necessary because she doesn't need to be who her mom wants to be. She can be who she wants to be. And I wonder if that is the case, if Luce has that reaction, if the mom will either accept that, will like, you know, be happy that Luce found her way, or will she reject that? And, you know, is it not going to end as well as I think it is? Beyond that, there's a couple things, you know, Amity and the confrontation between her and her parents, you know, how Ida and Lilith are going to go around with like less magic than they had in season 1. And a couple of other stuff, you know, for the characters. Like I said it all during the review. As far as what I wish was done in season 1, I don't know, because honestly, I'm pretty satisfied. I guess I wish that the story would focus more on the mystery, but like, you know, because I mean, like I said, episodic episodes are kind of harder to do when you have such a good story, because, you know, the audience wants to see what the heck is going on with that good story. But I've been pretty satisfied with season 1. I can't really complain. I mean, I can, and I also can understand why they couldn't do everything. Like I said, I'd like to see Gus have a bit more of an emotional episode. I guess I would want to know more about the Bat Queen and stuff like that. But I feel like all that stuff could be covered in season 2. So overall, I've been pretty satisfied with season 1. I can't really complain. So this is from Ronja, and this is more of a fun fact than a question. But fun fact, Lilith's voice actor describes her as a sociopath. Take this as you will. Looking forward to season 2 reactions. Thank you very much. That's actually pretty interesting. Something I do hope is that Lilith still gets that redemption, even though she might be a sociopath. It will be interesting to have a sociopathic good guy. I feel like there aren't a lot of that, so I think it'd be pretty cool to see Lilith interact with everybody, you know, not only Ida, but Luce as well, King, Hootie. It would be pretty cool to see her interact with all these people, and, you know, struggle with, you know, being around more people. Season 1, she didn't really get a chance to be around a lot of people, but I imagine season 2, now that she's out of the Emperor's Coven, she will have to interact with all of these people. It would be pretty interesting to see how she does that. If she is a sociopath, like I said, it would be pretty interesting to see how a good guy sociopath would act. I guess there have been good guy sociopaths in the past, like Sherlock Holmes from Sherlock. But yeah, it would be cool to see a cartoon cover that. And the last one is from Marcel Hunter 18. What was your favorite episode of the season and your least favorite episode? Have you a favorite? And then yes, who is it? And who is your least favorite character? So the favorite episode, oh god, it's kind of hard to like, because I don't really think about it. I mean, I guess that my favorite episode would have to be the memory episode, and by memory episode I mean understanding Willow, because like seeing Amity have to confront what happened between her and Willow, and like, you know, having like, you know, being scared at first, but then, you know, having to physically, in order to survive, have to go and confront that day, which was the day that she was forced to break up with Willow because of her parents. I just really like those sort of episodes, and I really like how Amity saw what happened to Willow and was like, okay, yeah, I went too far and I have to save her. And it was really good because at the end, Willow and Amity got a stronger relationship because of it. I just really liked the episode. I liked the side plot with Gus and King and Ida. I thought that was really funny, and more Gus is great, so I don't really mind that. But I also really liked the fire monster. I just think it looked really, really cool. Besides that, I wonder what my least favorite episode is. It probably has to be the body swap episode. Like, I mean, I don't mind it. I really liked the Ida scenes when she was king. I thought that was really funny. But it's just, you know, it probably was the most out of the way episode. Even though it did have Lilith in it, it was okay, but I could feel myself going like, this is going a little bit too slow. Still a good episode, but compared to all the other episodes, I think that would have to be my least favorite. As far as favorite character, Gus is my favorite character. He's weird. He's very energetic. I like what he does with his magic. I just think that he's a really good character. My least favorite, can I say Basha? Is that too easy? I feel like that's too easy, because like she's doing what she's supposed to. She's like the bully character. If I had to pick like a character that was like dragging down the show, so yeah, I guess Basha. Hopefully maybe she'll get like because she is pretty one note, so hopefully maybe she'll get like more characteristics in the future. But yeah, those were my questions. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you again for anybody who submitted their questions, and we're gonna go back to the review now. But yeah, that was my review of The Owl House. If anyone says that animation is dying, I recommend forcing them down on the couch, turning on Disney Plus or whatever, and introducing them to this show. And the multitude of other amazing animated shows. I mean, animation's not dying anytime soon. This series is just so creative and fun. The characters are incredibly likable, and the story, while at times distracted, is compelling. I love the characters that I'm being surrounded with. I love Luz, and I love her journey. I'm hoping that season 2 continues, improves with this. And I have a good feeling it will, considering you guys are excited to see me react to it. So overall, I can safely give Owl House an 8.5 out of 10. Beyond solid show for the whole family. Thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys for your questions. Thank you guys for your viewership. Like I said, if you guys end up enjoying this video, then sharing this video, liking it, subscribing, all those things really help me out. I will see you guys for season 2 when I start it, hopefully next week. Until then, bye.